Hi and welcome to this video. Right now I am in beautiful Canada, sitting at the outskirts of this sacred site with petroglyphs from First Nation people in this area in Ontario. Sitting here by this beautiful river, so if you hear the background noise, it's a little rapid waterfall in the background. We got into this area about an hour ago, and I had the feeling that I had to do my next energy forecast in this place. It's very sacred, very magical, and we went to see the petroglyphs. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to film in there, but I found this little magical spot next to the park where I can do the energy transmission. And so during these energy forecast videos that I do on my YouTube channel, I hold a space where I'm providing healing and energy work with the energy that is present in the time right now. And this place is actually perfect for the opening that we're in right now. So I can't wait to share this place, the spirit of this area with you, and the spirit that is given to us to enhance the energy in this video by the spirit of the First Nations that has been here for thousands of years. And so what I do in this video is that I hold space, this conscious space that I'm administrating, in which the energy can work through you. And this conscious space permits me to work through your higher self with spirit guides, with your own soul, to allow this deep healing and conscious expansion to happen. And first of all, the video is coded with the energy, and the energy field is starting to slowly contact your energy system. So we start by taking a deep breath, and as you exhale, you just relax in your body. Let go of all tensions. Let the energy bring all of your energy home within yourself. Deep breath, let go of tensions, let go of thoughts about the present, the past, and the future. And just slowly feel how you're being connected to the space, this conscious field, and at the same time being connected to the energy in this beautiful nature spot. And just see if you can feel how nature is the perfect source of establishing this very deep, grounded contact to yourself, your foundation, your human body. And that nature slowly, slowly enter your energy system, bringing you home to yourself. And this space that I'm creating right now, this conscious field of awareness, helps you to not just listen to my words, but understand them on a deeper level through the subconscious mind. It's like opening, the words are opening into a deeper understanding of what's going on an energy level. And slowly, slowly, you're being brought home, home within yourself, and being balanced within your center. The center manifests itself in a point which lies just below the heart and above solar plexus area. And slowly, as more and more of all that is you starts focusing your attention around this area, the energy slowly starts expanding inwardly through this connection to your centered state. Deep breath as the space around me starts opening up right here where I'm sitting, and within the conscious energy field that I'm creating around you at the same time. And if you notice any signs of unease, you just take a deep breath and fill the space of resistance or pain or pressure with love and acceptance. And just feel how the energy is guiding you deeper and deeper until you are fully and completely centered. Take a moment just to register how it feels to be within your center, how it feels to be home within your body. Having all of your energy home, nothing lying around, being holed up in worrying about the past, the present, or the future. Everything is home, everything is balanced. And slowly, slowly, this conscious field expands, opening your awareness. And today's video is about how to clear the space within so that you may access the place within yourself that holds the wisdom of communicating with everything that is. You might call it a state of oneness, but really it's this deep remembering of knowing how to access everything living. But first of all, it's about clearing your mind, going into that state where the noise stops and where you are able to hear your own truth and thereby listening to everything that is communicating to you from a state of consciousness. And right now, the time that we're in has this opening for us to clear paths in our minds that makes us go round and round in circles, stealing away this precious time and space, holding on to limited beliefs about ourselves and the world that keeps us from evolving as spiritual beings. Like old pathways where we've walked for years and years without reflecting on whether the path is the most beneficial way for us to walk, but simply walking it because that's what we usually do, or that's what everybody else does. So some of these pathways consist of old cellular memories from not just our lifetime, but from our ancestors. These old ways that aren't necessarily useful in our lives today, but still is able to limit us. And we've been relying on these structures of the mind for thousands of years to keep us safe from danger by alarming us and making sure that we keep to the path of less resistance, because any potential meetings with these strangers or turning away from the flock could mean death for us. So these patterns created in the mind relies on these brain structures that contains this sort of pre-programming that works on a purely reflex levels most of the time. And these pre-programmings are making sure that we tend to stay inside the box instead of thinking outside the box. And thinking outside the box is really where consciousness starts to expand and evolve. So we are, as humans, predisposed in different ways to whether we have a positive or negative reaction to the possibility of thinking outside the box. But really, it has to do with this capacity of, of being conscious. Because the ability to notice these structures and using them in a positive way is what drives us over this edge of conformity and enclosed systems. So even though you might be blessed with a flexible disposition, there's still a lot of work to be done. And that work is being done on a global level all the time, making sure that we raise consciousness on a collective level. So every human on earth is being given this opportunity to choose the path of truth within and thereby minimizing suffering. But this reflex programming is also what keeps us alive and thriving as species in many ways, and it's not to be discarded as bad or less good, but maybe a road to greater exploration and possibility of growth. And whenever we truly want to change anything, what we do first is to know, get to know whatever it is we want to change, exploring, studying, and understanding, so that we have the foundation to truly make these wise changes that will last. And this willingness to study ourselves, this willingness to use the paths to enlighten ourselves is the key to understanding. So, the willingness to study ourselves is the key to understanding, and understanding is the key to changing, and changing is the key to evolving, and evolving is the key to unfolding our potential, and thereby gaining more and more influence as creators and citizens of not just the world, the planet Earth that we live in, but the universe. And so, in studying and learning about the human race, we might notice these different types of almost like secured filters that we can't seem to work our way around. And one of them being the way we rely on these reflex patterns. And this is something I work with a lot on a very concrete daily level when I have my sessions at home at my clinic. And when I do this healing called eternal core healing that releases these traumas that are enclosed in the reflex area from childhood experiences. And a lot of these mechanisms go back to our days as more animal-like creatures. Say this way the reflex system works. Um, and the way I see it is that we weren't always soul beings. So this time when the soul was embedded in our DNA is when things started to change, and we need to move more and more into this direction of changing the patterns in by making decisions in real life to make sure that these openings to open up some of these old ways, some of these old enclosed systems, so that we can be more healed, so we don't have to drag all these traumatic experiences through our lifetime, but also through it's like a karmic burden that can lie on the whole genetic programming from our ancestors. And so we don't want to delete the mechanisms, but merely do an 2018 update of the programming, allowing spirit to unfold this true potential as soul beings that we have. And one of these program updates allowed us to download and upload balanced experiences without having to die first. And that makes us speed up the process of evolving as species. And at the same time, a lot of new securing mechanisms is being activated while the process is happening slowly over time, making sure that we can deal with this progress and this inner pressure that happens whenever we go through this change of reality. A change of reality that is bound to happen on different levels whenever we accept the possibility to 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 engage in these experiences, whenever we have the possibility um, to use experiences from not just our ancestors, but actually from consciousness all over the universe. And the security filter that we use to live by is known as laws of memory, a sort of almost like a fuse that makes sure that we don't overload our system with memories of who we are, what we know, and what we're capable of as these spirit beings that we are. By accessing everything we are, we know how connected we are. And by knowing, we become almost fluid in a way that we cannot comprehend as humans, but interacting through the connection to all there is. And so several of times there has been experimented with letting the veil drop and allowing access of multi-dimensional memory, both on Earth and other places in the universe. A lot of people still hold memories from some of these places in the universe and feel strongly connected to the history and what happened to some of these civilizations. And I'm not going to mention any names because that's not important right now, but the fact is that a lot of these experiments, as we call it, which is based on free will, but has been done all over the universe. And every time there has been valuable lessons learned, and how the soul embedded or incarnated, I think that's how you say it, creature reacts to this process. And one of the important pitfalls during this transformation is the rejection of limitations that comes from the urge to rise above the human body, or the incarnated body needs, and the ego derived mechanisms, and this can happen to a degree where it's possible to almost dissolve, or it has been possible to dissolve the vessel in which the soul resides. So almost dissolving the nature of which the incarnated body lives in, or lives through. So what we want to do is not to look look ill upon these the human nature, and not at the same time not open or unlock these possibilities fully, but by lovingly studying our nature. Transforming is to a degree where we can be flexible enough to remember who we are, with the necessary respect for our basic instincts, for our human nature, and so that we can become these guardians of a multiple reality that contains frequencies from the lowest of the lowest vibration, to the highest of the highest vibration. Okay, so a spectrum in frequency is what is special about the human being. This allows us to create and balance our creations through our capacity of multidimensional reality, which could make us, or is going to make us, into far more potent co-creators, not just influencing our own reality, but co-creating a universal reality that derives from being dedicated to ensure that love works as the strongest force in the universe. Okay. But first of all, we need to do the inner work. And right now, that means allowing the energy to work through you, creating this change that will allow you to become more of what you are, what you really are. And today's gift is this deep cleansing that frees up the space to make room for these upgrading of your system, and slowly just take a deep breath. And the energy has been working on so far establishing this deep contact to your energy system, and at the same time releasing and dissolving these old rusty fear-based structures. It's almost like I get the picture of like cleaning old bottles. If you had this bottle cleaner at home, you might know what I'm talking about. But cleaning these, or like old rusty pipes, so allowing consciousness to flow freely through the pipes or through these old systems, changing and upgrading this structure from within. And a part of this cluttering of energy is stopping us from perceiving our own light along with our star brothers and sisters, is stopping us from both perceiving our own truth, but also the truth that meets us from the sacred space within, communicating and expressing information across time and space. And this is a part of using uh, past information and experiences that has been balanced. So take a deep breath and slowly working through this part of your system that is a reflex instinct that we have to reject every encounter we don't understand and therefore perceive as a potential danger or threat. So, as the cleansing and clearing of these old mechanisms is proceeding, slowly, slowly, we open the space to this opportunity to have a deep encounter with a being that resides not necessarily on Earth, but someplace in the universe, a spirit guide that is helping you right now to slowly activate this part of your DNA. It's a DNA string that holds the knowing about this oneness with other beings in the universe. Slow and easy, take a deep breath. Allowing the possibility of another multidimensional being to be in contact with you through this conscious, secure space that has been created from love. And if this sounds totally weird and crazy, you might want to just be present within yourself. So just feeling the peaceful energy around you and how it's stabilizing and healing you. Also, you don't have to believe in reincarnation. You don't have to believe in spirit guides for the healing and the activation to work. And slowly, this whole area that I'm sitting in, this whole sacred space of the First Nations, is being slowly, slowly activated deeper within your energy system, allowing this foundation that they bring to enter into the conscious field. And their gift today is the balance between honoring your human nature and at the same time knowing that you are a part of a bigger universe, that you are a sacred being, and that everything is created from this sacred breath, breath of life, sacred source that breathes life into souls. Deep breath. And you may set your intention on welcoming the spirit guide that works through you, welcoming the spirit of the ancestors. And by ancestors, I mean your genetic ancestors, your family line, but most of all, the ancestors being every human that came before you and every soul that was created before you. And this is what this state of oneness opens to. And knowing that we are a part of this oneness, and thereby every living being in the universe is your ancestors, the ones that walked the path before you. And in this balancing, the knowing of honoring your ancestors is lying very deeply enrooted. Because by honoring the ones before you, you make sure not to make the same mistakes. You make sure to use all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the experiences in the best possible way. There is an eagle above me right now. It is so beautiful. It's definitely a symbol of the spirit of the ancestors, welcoming us to this sacred space. And slowly, slowly, the energy gets stronger and stronger, activating this part of your DNA and at the same time allowing you to come into this deep contact with the ancestral wisdom that has a deep respect for both the nature on planet Earth, the home that we live in, but also our physical body, our human home, the home that our soul lives in. Still beautiful eagle. And this is what the First Nations knew, that we were spirit beings having an earthly experience, honoring the cycle of life by knowing that life has many faces. slowly opening to the wisdom that you need to move forward in your balance between expanding outwardly into the universe and at the same time coming home within yourself in an equal and loving communication. Opening up to the experiences that you need to gain right now. And this is what I was talking about before, which is this new opportunity that is very present in a time right now to give and retrieve balanced experiences without having to die, as a new possibility to speed up evolution. Slowly, slowly. Energy gets stronger, moves deeper within, expanding and contracting at the same time. Slowly changing reality from within by connecting with these new possibilities that allows your consciousness to expand from a place of peace and love, respect and understanding. And at the same time as this oneness is activated, or this knowing about who you are, this possibility of exchanging communication with other beings and at the same time with your higher self, it almost opens up to the possibility of, or it does open up to the possibility of going deeper into your own sacred space. What I saw today in this by these petroglyphs is a beautiful big stone full of petroglyphs, very well preserved. Wasn't found until the 1950s, I think. But what I experienced was getting a sort of activation from the indigenous spirit, First Nation spirit of, I had this feeling of saying yes on a deeper level to be a channel of sacred work. And this opening into wanting to communicate from a higher consciousness opens up to a deeper knowing of your own sacred origin, and thereby opening possibilities of doing sacred work. And every living human on planet Earth has these sacred geometries in their energy system, and every time we choose to go on a sacred path, they're being activated And the more you activate these sacred geometries in your energy system, the more you radiate this knowing of who you are and what you and from where you're created. There is full of life here in this forest. Squirrels and birds and eagles and fish jumping in the water. It's hard to concentrate, but I'm trying. So this activation opens up to the possibility of activating your sacred geometry on a deeper level by only by saying yes to this, the energy that I am providing in this video. And as a consequence of this energy work that we've done today together, it might get easier for you also to acknowledge your own truth and knowing when and why your reality is distorted by these beliefs, patterns, opinions, and inheritance that you have with you. And so be extra aware in the time during the next three months actually after this video. Be extra aware of whenever these veils falls, and know that they only do so whenever you're ready to change from within as well as in real life, because all these opportunities that exist only becomes real. So all of these healing activations, all this energy work, it kind of like establish a contact, establish this this possibility of an opening, but it only becomes real when we trust them enough to act on them. So acting on them by noticing them, noticing the changes in life, and saying yes from within to be the change. To be everything you remember that you are. Be everything that inspires you. Be sacred and be earthly at the same time. Slowly, slowly, the energy starts to withdraw. Slowly, slowly. Slowly, slowly. And as it withdraws, we're thanking, giving our thanks, giving our respect to this sacred area of the First Nations, giving our respects to the spirit guides that led us into this transformation today. Thank you so much for listening in. Thank you so much for being with me on this journey today, in this beautiful forest in Canada. And I hope I'll see you again soon.